Before initiating a discussion about Alfred Schreuder, I would like to make a brief summary of our winter transfer in 2020. It was neither shocking nor interesting, but definitely some useful players we got. Some pity we had for the loss of core players. A series of reports finally led to the departure of our ex-captain Calvin Ford. I believe our club would eventually settle him with a price tag in Bremen this summer. Some may insist his nonsense performance this season, but I still think that he could be the player that we knew under the helm of Nagelsmann. It is right to put always first the discipline, and he had to get himself to blame. Abukuma is still good enough to form a new defensive combination with Hubner and Posch. With the arrival of Dabur, it also came as no surprise that Locadia was sacrificed and sent back to Brighton. Though Locadia is not a very high-quality striker, his physical advantage could bring us something in return if he could be given more opportunities, at least coming from the bench. But I reckon that he has been reluctant to start on the bench too. Philip Ox, it's a bit pity that he eventually failed to find a place during the past few seasons. Certainly he's a useful player and hope that we could see him back to the Bundesliga very soon. Another pity of exist is Blaynet. The Dutch is a fast and attacking right back or wing back who could perform the same functions as Carterback when our team needs. But his defensive ability is still a question mark to me. Even Nagelsmann did not often use him. Considering that Carterback and even Posch could perform fairly in this position, his note of departure was written in the script. I only think that our club could get hold of Lucas Robb for at least the second half of this season. He is quite a pragmatic midfield player who could link up well with the strikers. However, his desire to play in Norwich City really puzzles me, given that he was not on our bench all the time this season. Of course, the rise of Baumgartner also favored his exit still in the winter. What we got this winter in stock was quite promising. The two attacking supplements coming from different regions may act as a X-factor to change our final position in the Bundesliga table. I really appreciate Magnus Dabur when he played Salzburg Leipzig. Either playing in the club or national team, he has been a very prolific striker. He is an opportunistic player having great footwork and power inside the penalty box, who should be the best replacement to the injured Belfodil and even the departed Joelinton. He is also a dynamic player who could also be the pivotal assisting striker. See what he has done in the second half in the DFB Pokal against Bayern Munich. It is a significant proof that he could be our star player in the coming season. Just for your information, he could snatch some goals, even having very few chances in Sevilla. Another promising player is the teenager ex-Dortmund left wing Brun Larsen. The Danes was not proven in Dortmund and even under 21 at national team. He should be a useful player in a less competitive team, but he also had to compete with Baumgartner or even Bilbao. Let's hope Schreuder on him a miracle. The acquisition of Michael Essa sounds not convincing to me, especially when you saw the performance of Pantic in the match against Leverkusen. He should be the real second goalkeeper instead of Essa. Let's not forget our academy player. Another Israeli, Ilge Hakims, has been officially promoted into our first team. I really look forward to seeing whether this box-to-box midfielder could be the next Dennis Geiger. He was the crucial player in our in our under-19 team. Maximilian Bayer is our latest discovery. The 17-year-old striker just made his few minutes debut in the Baden Derby. He has been a red-hot figure in the under-19 Bundesliga this season, leading the team to the fourth in the table. And I certainly want to see if Schreuder and the club would want him to succeed David Otto. The promotion of youth player into the first team is the most valuable assets of Hoffenheim, are graded out from different levels of management in the club, even under the new era of Schreuder. When we talk about the evaluation of Alfred Schreuder so far this season, we could arrange a long debate competition. Fervent local and overseas fans are generally dissatisfied with Schreuder, even though the club still sits at the 7th in the league table. The lackluster display in November, December, and mid-January, despite the win against Dortmund and Bremen, certainly speaks out itself. First of all, I also thought that Schreuder was out of idea in some of the matches mentioned. He should either decide to attack or sit back for devising counter-attack rather than mixing both plans without a clear switch of tactics whenever our team needs. Sometimes he should also put better players in the starting lineup, except to the injuries of players like Kamaric and Adam Young recently. And he should also instruct the teams to highly concentrate and implement his plan on the first minute. We did have a lot of poor first half performances which sometimes make us to concede goals. The eventual comeback in the second half didn't yield the result we want. When we compare the team performance in Bremen and in pre-0 against Leverkusen, we could already see the difference in the team formation. It should be one of the ugliest victories from Hoffenheim so far I have seen in Bremen. I was not so happy even the team did not concede a goal. No tactics and rely on individual effort with a tinge of luck. Nothing we could conclude for the attacking efficiency, but back to pre-0 our team becomes better. With successive passes when trying to formulate massive attacking opportunities. The match has to rely on the superb performance by the MVP Pantic. But given that Leverkusen with a group of high-octane and mobilizing players, I was not too dissatisfied with our defense. Even in the Baden Derby against Freiburg, we create numerous chances even without the injured Kamaric and Adam Young. 2 goalposts and several close efforts could be supported by a much better build-up from the midfield and off-the-ball movement initiated by Baumgartner, Grealish, and Dabur. Using a stronger defensive midfielder like Samaseko and Northfield could certainly share the workload of Rudy, while either of them could effectively intercept and anticipate the passes of opponents, further stabilizing the gears in the midfield. Our team seems to resume the traditional entertaining attacking style, even if we have to dominate the match. I'm not saying Schreuder has improved the team recently significantly, but at least signs of improvements is on. To me, the real Schreuder is not what he showed in October and November, but he should be able to come up a team with a fluid, blitz, and dangerous attacking mindset, somehow similar to IS. The arrival of Dabur and Brun Larsen may realize the dream, but it is still a very challenging task to bring us to the next rank. As a fan of Hoffenheim, I think we have to realize that we have a new team with a number of new players this season. We should not expect all new players could plug in a system that has not yet been written. Even Mauricio Sarri takes 1 season to revamp Napoli or Chelsea. I do not aim at defending Alfred, but somehow I think we need to count all the constraints what he has. How about language barrier? I always do not think that it is an issue, since he has been with us for 1.5 years before. Some may also argue that the ugliest victories greatly violate our club philosophy. Always keep attacking on the pitch no matter the teams we are facing. There's nothing wrong to uphold our philosophy, but sometimes, just sometimes, you have to be flexible and to devise different tactics to different opponents. For example, it may not be a wise decision to dominate the match against teams like Union Berlin, in which their players always good at making interception in the midfield areas and in their own penalty areas. Elvis somehow wants to do that, but sometimes he just didn't do it well. I would rather forgo his mistakes and see what he is going to do in the coming months. I do not know how the team is trained every day, but it seems that players are having fun during the sessions. That is the most important thing they could happily learn and improve every day. Since our team is not going reverse at the moment, I think we better evaluate Alpha's performance at the end of the season again, regardless of our final position in the league table. Let's not forget the next matchup against Wolfsburg. This weekend could be named as Wolfsburg Week. The first team will fight for a victory again, while our ladies resumes the service from the winter break by facing the leader Wolfsburg. We are only 3 points behind at the moment. A win could bring the title race more even and tighter. Of course, the Wolf ladies are very hard to beat, but we hope that the striker Billa and the midfielder Leg White could bring some surprises to us.